Hi, 6th grade. Let me just get this ready. All right. Happy Tuesday. Okay, so today we're going to continue to learn about the area of a triangle using a formula. So recall the area of a triangle. Do you remember what the formula was? It was 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the corresponding height of the triangle, or written with the variables b and h. Now the base has to be any one side of a triangle, okay? That has to be the base, all right? So the base can sometimes be the height if it's a right triangle, but usually it's not, okay? So it has to be on a side of a triangle. And the height is a perpendicular line of the corresponding base. Now, do you remember the 3 types of triangles we learned last time? The names of them? We learned acute, right, and obtuse. What makes an acute triangle acute? Do you remember? It makes it acute if all 3 angles are less than 90 degrees, like this. How about a right triangle? What makes a right triangle a right triangle? Well, one of the angles measures 90 degrees, like this. And finally, what about an obtuse triangle? What differentiates an obtuse triangle from a right triangle and acute triangle? In an obtuse triangle, one of the angles is more than 90 degrees, like this. So it's usually in the problems that we do, you will be given a base, but sometimes the problems that we have in our textbook, they don't show the base lying flat on the ground. The triangles might be, kind of positioned differently, where the base might be on one side of the page here, or might be on the top of the page or on the other side of the page, okay? And you might have to flip around your book to help you understand where the base is, okay? Now the height is the corresponding, is the perpendicular line of the corresponding base, okay? And so this is just a review from last time, and if you need to look at the previous lesson, please go ahead and do so, okay? So here is the height. Okay, now before continuing, I really want to recommend reviewing how to solve for an unknown variable in an equation. Please click on the link provided in the description to watch Algebra Basics Solving Basic Equations Part 2 Math Antics by Math Antics. Okay, so it's about like a 10-minute video. I didn't put it in this presentation. You can just click on the link in Moodle or on the YouTube channel if you are going through YouTube itself to watch this video, okay? Okay, so now we're going to learn how to find the height of a triangle when we're given the area and the base. Okay. So for example, let's say we have this triangle FGH, okay, where the area is 48 square inches. We are given the base in the picture. The base is 11.5. What is the height then? Okay, so if you look here, okay, I see that I'm going to input in the area as 46 here. we're going to do 1/2 times, and we know the base, it's 11.5 times the height, okay? And in here, what I like to do, just to clarify and make it clear, you see how I'm using dots for multiplication? And then you see how I have a decimal point here, an 11.5, okay? Whenever I have a decimal point and I'm using dots to signify multiplication, I like to put my parentheses around my decimal value. It just kind of shows, like, okay, this is not multiplication. It's just I'm multiplying. It's not 11 times 5, it's 11.5. Also be careful where you position your dots, okay? Because it should be clear that, if it's a decimal number, the dot or the period is, on the, lower level. And then if you're using a dot to mean multiplication, it should kind of be mid-level, okay? All right, so once you do that, okay, this half of 11.5 is what? Well, I'm going to do it maybe at the bottom here, okay? So 11.5, half of it, okay, is, well, 2 times what gets you to 11 or close to 11, 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to subtract this, so it's 1, drop the 5, okay? 2 times what gets you close to 15, 7. So then that's 14, 1, okay? Oh, there's no more numbers, so I'm going to add a 0, and then I'm going to drop the 0, okay? That'll be 0. So 2 times what gets you 10? Oh, it's 5. And then where's my decimal point? Oh, it's right here, okay? So half of 11.5 is 5.75 times age, 46. And so after you guys saw the video of how to solve for an unknown variable, so in this equation, we have an unknown variable h. We don't know the height, okay? So the height is being multiplied by this decimal number, okay? So when we want to undo multiplication, what do we need to do? We have to divide. So we're going to divide this by 5.75 because I want to get this unknown variable by itself on one side of the equal sign here, okay? And whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do it on the other to balance my equation, like this, okay? So this means that that cancels out and becomes a 1, and h is equal to this. And then what does that become, okay? Well, I'm going to do some work here, okay, at the bottom, okay? So we have 46 divided by 5.75, okay? And, oh, I don't like this decimal number here. My divisor is my decimal number. So I'm going to move the decimal point over 2 times, 2 places to the right. And for 46, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to move it 2 places to the right. So that becomes this, okay? But actually, when you input in different values and you multiply 575, you're going to actually find that 8 times 575 gives you 4,600, okay? All right, so here, the height, now we know it is 8 inches. Don't forget the inches, okay? All right. Now it's your turn. Okay, so pause the video, and I want you to try to do this on your own, okay? And then play the video again when you're ready to check what you got and what I got. All right, welcome back. So in here we have triangle JKL, and the area of triangle JKL is 35 square meters, okay? And then we are given the base, okay? And I know it's the base because remember, the base is one side of the triangle. And I see that the information that they wrote for us for 7 meters corresponds to only one side of the um, triangle, JKL. And here's like I just repositioned that same triangle where the base now is kind of on the floor, right, on the ground. So maybe it'll help you visualize it better, okay? And then the height is our unknown in here, okay? So then our base is 7, and then our height is, we don't know. So I'm going to write H for height, okay? And half of 7 is 3.5. Okay. And now I have 3.5 times my unknown variable. So do you remember what we do when we want to undo a multiplication? We want to divide it. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do it on the other side here. Okay. And then 3.5 divided by 3.5 cancels because 3.5 divided by 3.5 is 1, and 1 times h is just h, okay? And what is this here? It's kind of hard to see, right? So I'm gonna put this information kind of at the bottom here. So 35 divided by 3.5, and I don't like this divisor with the decimal, so I'm gonna move this over 1 here, okay? And then, so if I do that to my divisor, I have to do it to this number here. I'm going to move it over 1. So then this becomes 350 divided by 35. Ah, hey, this is 10. Okay, so actually the height here is equal to 10. And what's my unit of measurement? Meters. Okay. And of course, what you could do is you can input this back into your equation to see, is this right or not? Okay, for this one, let's just double check, okay, to see like, did I get this answer right? So now I'm gonna input in, so I know my area has to be 35, right? 35 square meters, okay? And so does 35 equal to 1/2 times, and what's my base? 7 times 10, okay? Well, let's see. 1/2 of 7 is 3.5. I'm going to multiply it by 10. Oh, and then I'm going to, so if I multiply it by 10, I'm just moving the decimal point here over one place to the right. So then that does equal 35. So 35 does equal 35. Sweet. So this is how I can double check to see if I got the height correct. Okay. All right. And I just inputted in that information if you kind of followed the book's way. And so you can pause the video to double check to see if that's what you did as well. In the book, they wrote the division across. They wrote the division across, right? Do you see that in here? Like, let's see right here, right? They wrote it across. But I kind of just like to write it as a fraction for me. But if you did it the other way, that's totally fine. You know, you do you. All right, good job. So now we're gonna find the base of a triangle when we're given the area and the height. It's kind of just similar, right? But we're just given different information. So let's look at this example here, okay? So in here, we're given the triangle XYZ where the area is 36.5 square centimeters. And then what are we given, the base or the height? Well, we're given the height in the picture, right? And the height is 10 centimeters, okay? Now, I'm going to, because this is just, we're multiplying this with this with this, order doesn't matter. You can put it in any order. So I'm going to put my number values right next to each other, okay? Because if you saw the review video, it's customary just to put our unknown variable last. Half of 10 is 5. So this is 5b is equal to 36.5 over here. And now 5 times b, what do I need to do? I gotta divide it by 5 to get b by itself, because if I do this, 5 cancels out. Okay. And then now I have to do 36.5 divided by 5. So I'm going to do it at the bottom here. 36.5 divided by 5. Let's see. 5 times something cannot be 3. In this case here, 5 times what can get to 36 or close to 36. 5 times 7, that's a 35. I subtract, that's a 1, drop the 5. Right? 5 times what gets close to 15, or it's 15? Oh, it is 15. 0. But can't forget the decimal point. Okay, so the base here is 7.3. And what's my unit of measurement? It's centimeters. So I gotta put in centimeters. And again, how do you check if it's correct? You just need to input this in back into your area formula for the triangle here, okay? And it should equal, if you input in 7.3 for the base and then 10 for the height and you multiply by 1/2, it should equal 36.5. All right. So now I would like for you to do the guided practice number 6. Pause the video. You know what to do, and I'll see you soon. Hey again. All right, so we're gonna find the area of triangle LMN, and they give us that the area, okay, which is 36 square inches. Okay, so 36 square inches, and we don't know the base, but we know the height. Okay. Now again, I'm going to move around my values here where the unknown variable is last, and then my number values are before my unknown values, okay? So now this becomes, what is half of 8? That's 4. This becomes 4b. I want to just get b by itself, so what do I need to do? I think you know by now, okay? And this cancels out, okay? And b is equal to 36 divided by 4. And sweet, 36 divided by 4, I know is 9, but I can't forget my unit of measurement, which is inches. Alrighty. How are you doing? Are you guys doing okay? All right, and there's the information inputted in from your book, okay? So you can just pause the video and check it if that's what you got. All right, our final one. We're gonna do guided practice number 7. Pause the video and I'll see you soon. Bye. All right, so what I noticed here, the base again is only one side of the triangle. So the base is on the side of the page, right? It's not on the floor. So what I did was I just kind of manipulated the image so I can get the base on the floor. It helps me remember where the base is, and it can help me identify the height. So let's input our given information, okay, to figure out what the base is, okay? So the area is 19.2 square centimeters. And again, I don't know the base, but they gave me the height as 9.6 centimeters here, okay? And then again, I want my unknown variable at the end. So I'm going to move this around. Okay, 19.2. Okay. And then what is half of 9.6? Well, that's 4.8. Okay. And I want B by itself. So I'm going to undo this multiplication here by dividing by 4.8. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do it on the other side to balance my equation. Okay. And then this cancels out. And 19.2 divided by 4.8. Oh, that's kind of weird. You know, I don't know this off the top of my head, so I'm going to try to do this as long division. Okay, so I'll do it at the bottom here. Okay, so I'm going to do 4.8 divided by 19.2, but I don't like my divisor when there's a decimal, so I'm going to move my decimal point here. Whatever I do there, I have to do it here. Okay, so it's 192 divided by 48. And actually, this becomes just 4. And if you do the math, 48 times 4, you're going to get 192. That's 0. Okay. And so my base here is 4. And what's my unit of measurement? I can't forget. It's 4 centimeters. All right. Okay. And it's written all there for you. Good job. All right. I will see you Thursday. Have a super day. And if you have any questions, no worries. Please come to me on Thursday during our GoToMeeting session with questions, and we'll try to help you out, okay? All right. Bye.